Jason Wheeler has been in the courtroom watching the testimony and joins us live in Austin with an update.
Yeah, Chris and Izzy, you touched on this just a moment ago about how we're just now to the second witness in this trial. Just to put that into perspective, as we were talking yesterday, we expect that there could be as many as 100 or possibly more witnesses called. So pretty significant that so far we have only heard from one man. And as you say, he was the man who was second in charge in Ken Paxton's Attorney General office. Jeff Mateer says he considered Paxton to be not only a boss, but also a friend, someone he tried over and over again, he says, to protect. In the fall of 2020, though, he says that Paxton was behaving in ways that he had never seen before, repeatedly trying to get senior staffers to do things that would benefit Nate Paul, Paxton's friend and one of his political donors. But Paxton's defense attorney today brought a poster board to court to show just how insignificant Nate Paul's 2018 campaign donation was.
In 2018, what percentage Nate Paul's campaign contribution was with regard to the total amount raised by Ken Paxton? 0.37%.
Okay, so that made a splash in the courtroom today, but prosecutors say that the Paxton-Paul relationship amounted to much more than just that donation. Today, in front of Paxton's wife, State Senator Angela Paxton, their first witness on the stand, Jeff Mateer, explained that Ken Paxton's behavior started to make sense to him when he learned that Nate Paul was employing a woman who had been Ken Paxton's mistress.
Because it answered the question, why is he engaging in all these activities? And it was like...
Made on behalf of Mr. Paul?
On behalf of Mr. Paul. Why is he engaged in this? I mean, it seemed to me he was under undue influence. At times I thought, is he being blackmailed?
So we saw a lot of testimony today and yesterday from Mateer, including some contentious back and forth with the defense today. It is pretty extraordinary, though, Chris and Izzy, when you think of how much time both sides spent talking to that first witness, considering that both sides only get 24 hours each total to present their entire case in this impeachment trial.
And speaking of time, Wheeler, there's been a lot of back and forth between the attorneys on both sides, and now that's impacting their time.
Yeah, that does matter when you start getting into the time. In fact, today, Rusty Hardin, who is heading up the case for the prosecution side, actually asked Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who is the presiding officer in this impeachment court, hey, you know, they keep on, interrupting me here. They keep raising objections, and then they add to those objections by talking more and more, and they're eating into my time, and I might have to come back to you at the end of this to see if we can kind of reset the clock and get some of that time back. So it's been a lot of bickering back and forth. Patrick so far, though, saying it appears to be happening on both sides, but he does have the power to extend their time as this trial goes on.
And how long do we think this trial will last?
Still anyone's guess. We are told today we're going to go till 6:30, a little bit late. We've been told that Saturdays may be added on here. And again, Izzy, it's kind of extraordinary when we think we're only in witness number 2 right now of what could be, dozens or scores, maybe 100 of them.
All right, Wheeler, we'll let you get back to the Senate floor. Thanks for your coverage. In the meantime, thousands of people are watching our live analysis of this trial. Investigative reporter Tanya Iser and a panel of political experts are giving insight and context during each day. You can watch from anywhere on our streaming app, WFAA Plus, or log on to our Facebook or YouTube pages.